The 4x4 piston door is a pretty popular build among redstoners, essentially acting as a gate weight. I've said this before. This is a 4x4 piston door, but if you saw the last one I made, then you might be able to tell that this one is just better. Not just from the size, but the speed. This thing is a whopping 0.1 seconds faster. No, I'm not joking, here's a comparison. Anyway, this thing is 12 by 3 by 10, which is smaller than the last one by 2 side layers, and of course, 0.1 seconds faster. I will never stop laughing to myself about that. Now, yes, this piston door does have a user manual, because barely anyone knows about input bug, so when a door breaks because they used the wrong type of input, they end up blaming the person who did the tutorial. So in order to counteract this, I'm going to show you an input that I would like to use whenever I use this door, which, in all honesty, I'm not going to. I don't really play survival, but here we go anyway. Input bug is not so easy to avoid, so a lot of the time on Bedrock Edition in particular, we just kind of deal with it and move on. This particular build is input bug to require a repeater or torch input, or comparator. Otherwise, it will mess with some of the timings, and the door will most likely break. And I say most likely as in it will. So when you wire an input to this door, just avoid using any directly connected lever, or button, or pressure plate. And run it through another component first, like a repeater or a torch. Do not power it by pushing a block into place to power the dust, because that is also input bugged and will break it. The only other thing of note about this door is that, just like basically any other piston door ever, you should not be spamming the lever, otherwise there is a high chance that you will break it. And by high chance, I mean 100%. Now we can finally get into actually building the door. So here is the resource list. Up in this top section is what you're going to need to make the door itself, and in this bottom section here is what you'll need to make the input that I'm going to show you how to build. Please use the input that I show you how to make. Otherwise, if you break the door, it's not my fault. So, with that out of the way, let's get to actually making this thing. Like any good piston door maker does, we're going to start with our piston layout. So, on the bottom of the door, we have 2 double piston extenders and 2 singles. So we're just going to lay them out like so. And then we will build our door frame itself like this. It's just more convenient to build things upon each other rather than build a bunch of floating things and connect them. So, then we need to do the side layout like so, which is just a single, 2 doubles, and a single. Then we're going to place a couple temporary blocks like this, then 2 doubles and 2 singles, just like that. Then of course, it is a symmetrical build, so we simply copy the right side layout to the other side. Like that. Now that is your piston layout, which means you won't need any more of your door blocks, but of course, allow us to simply construct our simple hallway. And there you go. Won't need those anymore. But you will need wiring blocks, transparent wiring blocks, normal pistons, redstone torches, redstone repeaters, redstone dust, redstone block, observer, and target block, and obsidian. And of course, you will need these things immediately. First, we start with a line of 4 blocks here, and we place a repeater here on 3 ticks, and a repeater here on 2. This is what's known as a repeater lock. Then we place a target block here, and some blocks like so, some dust along here. And of course, this is a symmetrical build, so this simple stuff on the bottom can simply be repeated to the other side. Just like that. And then you are going to place a piston here, and a piston here, and an obsidian. And of course, do the same thing on the other side, and the obsidian. And now you don't need the obsidian anymore, so you can pull out observers. And then you're going to place a temporary block and a block on each of its faces, except for the back, so that you can remove it. Then dust on all of those, block here, and a 4-tick repeater, then a dust. Then you're going to need a sticky piston here, and of course, put your redstone block on its face. Then an observer, and another one, like that. Somehow this is not locational. Somehow this does not break on chunk borders. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put a torch here and a torch here. And so begins the process that will drive you insane. So you're going to need a few observers. You're going to place one here, and you're going to place two like so. You're going to place a block here and a dust and a solid block there. Then you're going to place a transparent block, dust on top, and yellow block, and a dust on that. Then dust on this observer, and then transparent block, dust, transparent block, dust, and you're just making a tower up to here. So this dust is on the very top level. Then you're going to place an observer and a piston, solid block, dust, repeater, dust, and target block, like so. And then you're going to place a piston facing upward here. This will update this observer so that we can get a second pulse to this torch. Yada yada sequencing. So we are going to come over here. We're going to place a target block like so, and an observer facing down, then a repeater on its face on 3 ticks, a repeater here on 2, a block here, a repeater on 2 ticks, a block here, and a piston. Actually, no, this is on 3, with a redstone block on its face. Then, off this observer, place a block, a piston facing this way, a torch on its side, a piston facing up, a torch on its side, a block here, and a dust, which will connect to the torch, then a block here to cut the signal so that it doesn't connect with this, where you're going to place another dust. And 2 more, like so. Now that is one side technically complete because the other will take care of the entire top. So, in order to build the right side, we do essentially all of the same exact things. Wait, that's the left side. You're going to start here, place all of your dust, block, 4-tick repeater, block, dust, piston, redstone block, observer, observer, observer. Okay. Then, transparent block, dust, any block, dust. Bam. Just, okay, when I say any block, I mean any solid block that is not going to do something stupid. Do not wire your door on TNT. All right, and then you're going to place an observer here, and 2 like so, block here, dust here. Then piston facing up, dust here, transparent block, solid block, dust, then dust tower up a couple blocks, like so. Then you're going to take out a target block and place it here, a piston underneath, solid block, repeater on 3 ticks, sticky piston, redstone block, observer, solid block, target block here, dust here, downward observer, piston, and repeater. Solid block, dust. I placed that too high, my bad. Solid block in front of the repeater, then the piston with the redstone block on its face. Torch here, piston, torch, block, dust, block. Repeater here on 3 ticks, then it set this one to 2. Then connect that with dust. Now you're getting to the funny asymmetrical top. You're going to place a block here, block here, block here, block here. 3-tick repeater, 2-tick repeater, block on the back, and then a dust here. Or if you would like to spend more resources to make it symmetrical, for whatever reason, you can remove this, place another block, and then repeat the process over again. So you can do this. If you're that obsessed with making it symmetrical, then this build is going to use 6 repeater locks. But I don't actually care for making it symmetrical, I care about optimal resource usage, so simply place a dust there. Right, and then you need one there. And now, provided that I am not an absolute moron, that should be the correct everything. So you can test it by simply setting up a torch here. That looks correct to me. I forgot something. Let's go. Okay. So, what did I forget? Actually, yeah, what did I forget, huh? Oh, I forgot The torches. Oh my. Okay, torch here, torch here. Yeah, if you saw that during the tutorial, I feel bad. I'm sorry. That's why we test things along the way to make sure we didn't forget anything. All right. And just like that, the door works. So now we can take this out and pretend I didn't do that. That's what happens when you power it with a direct input, by the way. What the fuck? And put that back. And let's show you how to make an actually good input. Of course, none of these bottom blocks are needed anymore. They were just to show you how big the area is. And now, instead of all this stuff that's currently in my inventory, which I can just do that, you're going to need this stuff. So, let's get started, shall we? So in order to build this input, you will actually need to have a little bit of a door frame in place already. Just like that. And then you can kind of do whatever, I don't care, and like that. Then you're going to place your button here. You're going to place a block here and a dust here. You will see it direct into the torch. However, because of the timings, this torch will not interfere with the input. I was very lucky on that front. So then you're going to place a block here and a dust here. And then wrap it around like so. Then a solid block right there. It doesn't really matter if that's there or not. Then a copper bulb. And an arrangement of blocks like so. A comparator here. And then we'll place a redstone torch there in a moment. For now, we're going to put a little bit of a door frame on the other side. Just like that. Then you're going to place a button here and a sticky piston facing down with a block on its face. And then a block here, a block off to the side with a dust on it, and then a block off of the dust, a block here, a torch, and a repeater like so. And when you press this button, the copper bulb will toggle. And when you press it again, the copper bulb will toggle. So you're going to place a redstone torch here, which will immediately close your door. And now you can just press the button, and the door will open. And of course, you can do the exact same thing on the other side. Do not ask me why it is so visually buggy. Bedrock Edition is just weird like that. But there you go. There's your completed door. Just like that. And now, for once in my videos, I'm actually going to include a world download on my Discord server. Yeah, I'm not doing MediaFire. You'll just download the file directly from my Discord server. I have a dedicated channel. This is because I absolutely despise MediaFire. If I ever have to click another MediaFire in my life, again, I will set said media on fire. So yeah, if you want a world download for it, just in case you're having any weird problems, that will be in my Discord server. But personally, I would recommend simply asking for some assistance first, rather than trying to deal with my weird-ass wiring. Because, I mean, there's just a hole here. Tell me if you like the hole. Subscribe, or the TNT minecart stack of evil will destroy your door.